Now, if I got a tip for you today that's going to make golf so daggone easy you won't believe it by the end of this. One of the most important things is to stay in your posture throughout the swing. So a lot of times what I'll see is players will stand up and lose their posture. They start to cast as that's happening. Their body backs away from the ball. And now as I get farther away from this ball, to be able to reach it, I'm going to stand up like this and throw my arms at it. Now that causes you to lose some lag, causes you to lose some club head speed, and a whole heck of a lot of consistency. Now in reality in the golf swing, we want to be tilted down, and you can almost imagine everything on a plane of glass. If I drop this club, as I swing back, it's on this angled plane, and as I swing through, it's on this angled plane. So I'm trying to take my spine angle and match it to this angle so that I can rotate like that. Now there's a great drill. You can do this with a broom, anything that you have, and find that angle. But what I have found also is that even when players can feel this angle going really slow and smooth, as soon as they add some speed to it, as soon as they add some power to it, it all goes out the window. So what we want to do is add power in our posture. So I'm going to go ahead and put this club, or this giant pole, this is actually a closet pole that you would use like hang some shelving in your closet. I'm going to make it stick out of my shoulders about the same amount where I could actually hit this bag as I come into my posture. So my backswing, I'm here. That's my left side is kind of crunching down, knock the wall there a little bit. In my downswing, I'm keeping that posture, and now you can see I'm in a lot of what would be right side bend. That keeps me in this posture the whole time. Now that's great when you're going slow, but we gotta have some power with this. So I want you to go ahead and hit this impact bag as hard as you can, and you don't have to do it super hard because the body really isn't even moving that fast in the golf swing, but go ahead and get some power into that. That way you get used to, how do I use my legs? I wanna keep a little flex in them. How do I rotate my feet? How do I keep that posture while adding some power doing that? And that's the big game changer. If you do it slow, it's fine, you'll get the feeling, but if you add some speed to it, now it's more applicable. It's going to transfer over to your golf swing. So if you've tried something similar in the past, try that out, it's going to be a little bit different. Now the second piece is my weight shift. That's my tilts. I got my body in tilt, but I can mess everything up still if my weight shift is all out of whack. I mean, I can swing in tilt and everything's going different directions. I'm not going to be very good. Think of it as the dog wagging the tail versus the tail wagging the dog. And what I mean by that is, if I have my arms swinging, if I wanted my arms to be like noodles hanging from my shoulders, and I wanted them to, not under the arms force, but under my body rotation force, to be thrown to the top of the backswing, what I would do is I'd start to get some weight shift to the right early, and then I would go ahead and let my body open up as I go in the backswing, and that's going to throw my arms to the right. Now, that's where a lot of people have never sensed that. Most everybody that I see starts the backswing and their weight doesn't move. You'll notice when I did that, I get my weight to move first to the right, then my arms are swung back. That's how I feel in my real swing too. You'll even notice with me, I actually lift my toe up a little bit. When I start my swing, I lift my toe. That gets my weight starting to go to my right side, and then I make my backswing. So almost everybody that I see, way too late getting to the right side, and the same thing in the downswing, way too late getting the left side. So once we get that momentum going and we swing the arms back, now same thing in the downswing. I want to get some weight to the left, get the body opening up first, then my arms swing down. If you're coming over the top, all that's happening is you're starting down with your hands and arms without the weight shifting to the left. This is going to force you to get the weight moving to the left, then the arms swing down. So again, wet noodles, kind of the dog's wagging the tail. Shoulders move first, arms are thrown back. Body moves first, arms are thrown down. Now we've got our posture. Everything's really nice and in plane. I've got power with that. I've got my weight shift down. Here's the final piece that I'd venture to say daggone near 100% of people get wrong. When we're making a swing, what I want you to feel like is it's a baseball swing. Again, it's the same as a baseball swing. The only difference is we're in our tilt forward in that posture. But there's one thing that everybody gets wrong with this. If I do this baseball swing, we get the club way too high. And what that means is this club is way over my right forearm. In reality, when you look at pro golfers, that club is matching the forearm in the downswing. So my forearm angle and my club shaft angle as I swing down should be matching. If I did that in a baseball swing, I'd make my normal backswing high, but then I'd shallow that club out so that now my forearm and the club are on the same angle. And then here's the big piece. If you don't get this piece right, you can do everything else from this video and it's not going to work. When I let my hands release, that face is square and my hands are in front at contact. So again, I'm kind of doing the tail wagging the dog. I'm back. I shallow the club out as my body starts to rotate open. Club's matching the forearm, and from there, I don't do this with my hands lined up with the club. I do this with my hands in front. But see how that face is open? Square that face up as you're doing that. So now I'm squaring the face up. Here's a great way to feel that, another way of visualizing that. I have both hands here at address. As I go to the top of the swing, my hands rotate on that plane like we just talked about, and my hands open up. In the downswing, my hands do this, and my left wrist is bowed back, my right wrist is hinged back like that too. And then as I release on that plane going this way. Let me turn it up toward the camera here. Here's where I started. Here's my back swing, palms rotated open. In the downswing, I do this. My wrists are in front of my fingertips with both hands. That's the shaft lean, and that's squaring up the face. Then as I release it, I go ahead and let it rotate on around in the follow through. So if I drag the club, I get my lag and I hold it open, that's the hands doing this instead of turning it like that. I get my lag now and I let my wrist lead the way. Now that squares up the face so that I can get it nice and flush and I can hit a really solid shot. All right, so let's go ahead and give one a whirl here. Got a 6-iron, target's 215 away. Let's see if I can hit one nice and square. There we go, hit that one right on the line, just left of the flag, nice and solid. We're gonna see that one's gonna carry somewhere around that 200 mark, maybe a little bit farther than that. Now, the biggest piece there, the one thing that everybody gets wrong, is that when they're squaring up their hands, or when they're getting this lag and shaft lean, they're not learning how to use these wrists. Now, I called it the wrist in front, but I also have a drill that's fantastic for this called the tennis racket drill. And what I do is I show you, if you pause the club in what I call a pro position at last parallel, my hands would be in front of my right leg, and this face, instead of being up and down, would actually be rolled to square up. And there's a specific way that you have to move the wrist to do this, and there's a specific way that you have to move the body to get in that pro position. It's exactly what I'm going to show you in this tennis racket drill. I'm going to play a preview of that here in just 1 second. All you need to do to see that full video is go ahead and click on the card that pops up on the screen. If you don't see that card, just go down to the description below and click on the link there. You'll get instant access, and that's the real sticking point. You learn that tennis racket drill, you pair it up with the very simple moves that anybody can do in this video we did today, you're going to have a PGA Tour looking quality swing. Can't wait to see the tennis racket drill. Let's go get started right now. Good player problems. We're going to talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it. The flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time,